Everybody, I always say that.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Half angle identities. So you guys definitely need your identity paper out. No lie, I don't have the half identities memorized as much as I have all the other ones. So some of these I might mess up. Now, here's the deal. So the half identity for sine probably says sine of theta over 2 equals plus or minus the square root of, is it 1 minus cosine divided by 2? Thank you. Okay, that's your half angle identity. Now, what you're going to do with that and what it's going to say on your quiz on Friday or on Delta Math or anything that we do, and it's an exact value, so there's not going to be any decimals. Okay, if it says it's an exact value, you're either using a triangle value or you're using your unit circle. Okay, you guys have to know that unit circle. Like it's kind of starting to kick you in the butt if you don't know it. So what you're going to do is this is your half angle. Does everybody understand that? That's my half angle. This is the same as the sine of theta over 2. Yes? So we need to actually find what theta is. What is theta? Oh, there she is. Will you let her in, please? What is theta? 210 degrees. 210 degrees. I was recording for you. Just for you. Let's make sure Courtney hears that in the recording. I was just recording for Josie, not Courtney. I'm just kidding. And then I figured, I said, am I going to be mad? And she said no. I was like, okay, I'm fine. No. I know. Then she like, I figured it out. Okay. Now, 210 degrees, guys. This is the part where you got to start knowing how to find the difference between the angles and the radians. Wait, how do you see 210 degrees is in what quadrant? I'll explain it again in a second. I need to keep going. It's in the third quadrant, right? It's in the third quadrant. Which one of my angles am I going to use? 30, 60, or 45? Clearly not 45. So if you do like 60, you would do 60, 120, 180, 240, right? That doesn't work. So now you go 30. 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180, 210. So that's 7 what? 30 degrees is what in radians? Pi over 6. So this is 7 pi over 6.
Okay, but where'd you get to?
Because I multiply 105 by 2. You got it. You got to listen now. I multiply 105 by 2. That's a half angle formula. Okay. Now, what you have to do now is you're going to use the formula. So, but you have to know what quadrant things are in. And it's not the quadrant of the angle you found. It's the quadrant of the angle that you're given. So 105 degrees is in what quadrant? The second. So everybody follow me there? This is in the second quadrant. So you're going to say, is sine positive or negative in the second quadrant? It's positive. Why am I asking? Because you either have to make it positive or negative as a square root. So this is going to say the square root of 1 minus the cosine of 210 degrees divided by 2. Give it a second. Everybody follow me there? Now, what is the cosine of 7 pi over 6? Reference angle is pi over 6, yes? What's the cosine of pi over 6? It's radical 3 over 2, but in the second quadrant, cosine is what? Negative. So it's going to be 1 minus negative radical 3 over 2 divided by 2. It became a positive because you're subtracting a negative. Yes? Now, look at what you have underneath the radical. You're adding fractions here, correct? How do you add fractions? Nope. Common denominator, right? My common denominator is going to be what? It's going to be 2, right? So this becomes 2 plus radical 3 divided by 2 all divided by 2. Yes? Now what are you doing underneath the radical? Fraction divided by a fraction, correct? What do? Multiply by the reciprocal. So this now becomes the square root of 2 plus radical 3 divided by 4. Because it's 2 over 1, so it'd be 1/2 is the reciprocal. Yes? We're not even done yet. Guys, stop it. You can't do that. You have to finish on Friday. You can't get frustrated. You can't.
Okay, it's not that. I just don't even know how to start it.
I know. You're going to see me start number 6, so give me a second. Now, you need to separate your fraction. You can separate fractions underneath the radical. So your final answer is going to be the square root of 2 plus radical 3 divided by 2. You guys never catch on the first time. It usually takes us a couple times to get us caught on. All I did is I separated my square root. I separated my fraction. This cannot be that can't be simplified at all. What's the square root of 4? It's 2. Right? So I took the square root of my numerator. I took the square root of my denominator. Okay. Tangent half angle. Is it tangent plus or tangent minus? What is it? Just read it to me. There's 3 of them. Give me the first one.
What's the minus? 1 minus cosine?
Nope. Give me the second one.
Okay. 1 minus cosine of the sine.
What?
1 minus cosine of the
It's fine. Do you really want to have to worry about plus or minus things? Because you won't remember. Do you really want to take a square root when you don't have to? Nope, you won't. Okay. Now, this is the formula. Is the other one 1 plus sine over cosine or something like that? Sine over 1 plus cosine. Okay. I just had to remember what they were. I don't remember. Now, you need to find your angle first. How do you find your angle? You take what you're given and you multiply by what? 2. So this is the same as the tangent of 405 degrees divided by 2. Does everybody follow me there? Yes, no, maybe. Come on. Multiplied. You need a quadrant. Go back to the original angle in the problem. That's here. What quadrant is 202.5 in? I heard it. It's in quadrant 3 because it's bigger than 180 but less than 270. It's okay. At least he's trying. Gotta give him that.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I meant.
Okay, glad. 405 degrees is not an angle that you know. So what do you have to do? Is it bigger than 360 degrees? Do you want it to be bigger than 360 degrees? No. So what do you need to do? Subtract 360 degrees. What's 405 minus 360? 45. So this is the same as 45 over 2. What's 45 degrees in terms of radians? Pi over 4. So you're going to write this as 1 minus the cosine of pi over 4 divided by the sine of pi over 4. Well, what's the cosine of pi over 4? Radical 2 over 2. So this is 1 minus radical 2 over 2 divided by sine of pi over 4. Radical 2 over 2. Do you guys now see why you got to have that thing memorized? It's got to come. In my opinion, as of right now, you should not have to write your chart on the back of your speed quizzes. You shouldn't. I multiplied by 202.5 pi 2. Because if I take 405 and divide by 2, that's the same as 202.5 degrees. Okay? Up here, common denominator, yes? So this is going to be 2 minus radical 2 divided by 2. And at the same sense, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to multiply by 2 over radical 2. Everybody see how I did that? I went from here to here. Yes? What do you have to do? Don't cross multiply. It's not an equal sign. You can cancel these, correct? Right? So you now have 2 minus radical 2 divided by radical 2. What do you have to do? You got to rationalize it, right? So this turns into 2 radical 2 minus 2 divided by 2. How did I get all those 2's? Multiply by radical 2 here. Radical 2 times radical 2 is 2. Radical 2 times radical 2 is 2. Am I finished? You're really close, though. I can cancel it out, so my final answer is radical 2 minus 1. Do you see why you don't learn the sine of 105 and the sine of 202.5 degrees? You would never know it.
How did you cancel out all of them?
Because you could factor out, up here you could factor out a 2. You could say it like this. And then they cancel. I'm just skipping an algebraic step there. Okay? Cosine. So the cosine of my half angle is plus or minus. Is it 1 plus cosine over 2? That's what I thought. 1 plus cosine. Excuse me. Over 2. Thank you. All right. 5 pi over 8. A quadrant. Okay, go easily here. 0 pi over 8 is...
Oh, wait, no. I get it.
Pi over 2 is what in terms of pi over 8? 4 pi over 8, right?
Yeah.
Pi is what in terms of pi over 8? 8 pi over 8. So where is 5 pi over 8? Second quadrant. Does everybody see what I did there? Second quadrant. You're going to need that. Proud of you. Good job. This is the same as the cosine of what? 10 pi over 8 over 2. How did I get 10 pi over 8? I multiplied by 2, right? Which is exactly what I did on these two, correct? You can't. You just multiply the numerator. It's like 2 over 1. So this is the same as 5 pi over 4 divided by 2. She's talking about what?
8, which is what I'm talking about. Look, 5 pi.
You take this. You do this. I'll do it right here. You multiply by 2. That's like 2 over 1. That's really annoying. Stop that. So 10 pi over 8. It's annoying, so stop. If I think it's annoying, it's annoying. Nobody else's opinion matters right now. Just so you know. Oh, I got your quizzes graded.
Did I do bad?
Let's just say I was very nice when I graded it.
Thanks.
Like all of them. All right. So, all right. Positive or negative? Negative. Because cosine's negative in the first quadrant. So negative square root of 1 plus the cosine of 5 pi over 4 divided by 2. When you break it and put it into your half angle formula, you better have an angle that you can get a value for. It's got to be one that you recognize. So negative square root of 1 5 pi over 4. Cosine of 5 pi over 4. What's my reference angle? Pi over 4. Cosine of pi over 4 is radical 2 over 2. 5 pi over 4 is in what quadrant? That would be the third, so it is negative. What do you have to do? Common denominator. So this is negative the square root of 2 minus radical 2 divided by 2, all divided by 2. What do we do from here? Multiply by the reciprocal, right? So this is the same as the square root of 2 minus radical 2 divided by 4. Split your fraction. Your final answer is the negative square root of 2 minus radical 2 over 2. We have to know our unit circle. I promise you, if you don't know it, you will not finish your quiz on Friday. What?
She said we have another quiz.
Nope, it's quiz.
Quiz. Going down on the
Rita's
points.
class is having a graded assignment.
You're not in Brielle's class.
I know, but like, that's where I got that from.
Yeah, they might. You're having a quiz.
We're not my fault. It's fine.
Trust me, I'm.
You can go. She's teaching it right now.
Where'd we get the 2
No,
from?
I was gonna say, I'm glad to be in your class.
How to get what to? This 2?
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just.
2. I don't know how we got
Square root of 4.
How come we.
Hold on, Mitch is asking me a question.
No, I didn't know.
Okay, JT, what's up?
I still am not understanding, like, any of it. Especially a tangent.
I know, for some reason, I knew you were going to say the tangent really just threw you off.
How come we put 8 or 10 pi over 8 over the 2?
Because you have to find your original theta.
But on tangent, we just put 4 over 5.
Because that's in degrees, it's not in radians.
You just stole my book.
Yeah, she did.
So don't even make
These are in radians, they're going to be fractions over fractions. These are the degrees, are going to stay there. Did you just make that? It's impressive. Okay. All right. We will do 2 of the bottom ones. So, because I want you guys to work on your homework when I'm in here. Because I'm not going to listen to this. I didn't know how to do it tomorrow when you walk in. Because you need to review tomorrow for your quiz on Friday. Yeah, I can't help you tomorrow, though. I got to teach that whole bill. All right. What do we see? We're going to do 9 and 11 so you guys can put work over 10 and 12. Read it and tell me what's the first thing you're going to do on Friday. Quadrant. What quadrant is this?
Wait, which one are we doing? Now you're saying. It's in the. Yeah, we're gonna say. Stop.
It's one of them.
Such a joke. You're turning into me the more the days go on.
What?
It's not good.
Oh,
But you just were like 10. And she was like, okay, let's go. All right, what quadrant?
No, you don't. No, because
Quadrant 3, yes?
I see you.
Quadrant 3. We're doing number 9. Quadrant 3. Okay, what else does it tell me? What else does it tell me? Tangent is what divided what over what? So opposite over adjacent, and they both have to be negative. And then this is 5. Now, here's the part that gets a little wonky. Okay, I know theta is between this angle. Yes? Right? But I need to know where my half angle lies. So, if I make this theta divided by 2. If I divide this by 2, what do I have to do with those as well? You divide by 2. So this is divided by 2, and this is divided by 2, so it becomes 3 pi over 4. What quadrant is my original angle in?
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, now you're confusing me. I thought we were doing 10. Now we're doing 9. Stop.
Why did you say you hated her? That's why we were all laughing.
I didn't say I hated her.
Yes, you did.
I didn't even know I said that. I'm not even gonna.
Yes, that's why I really think what you were talking about yesterday was to me.
I didn't even remember
If it
saying
was
that
to
I hated
you,
you. I truly
it was
don't
to
even
you,
remember
she
saying
wouldn't
that.
even talking about Bryce. You'd be in the dungeon, right?
I don't even remember that.
Okay, so let's get back to where is my half angle lie? What quadrant?
Are we done with this? That's all we need? It says find 10.
Okay, okay. Okay, when Mitch is even giggling at you, it's not a good thing. Mitch, are we done with this problem yet? Say no. No, say no.
So why are we doing 9?
Why do you see a 3 over 4 over here?
She's just putting the triangle in number 10, so she has more room, Aria. We're not doing 10.
We're not doing that.
Then why did you say we were doing 10? I'm quitting. I'm done. I'm so done with you guys.
I didn't even do anything. I'm just sitting here trying to teach.
You said you were doing 10.
No, I said the whole time I was doing 9 and 11, and you have more room over here to do work in 10 and 12. We can rewind to YouTube in about 10 minutes when I'm done. Okay, what quadrant is my half angle in? So it's between pi over 2 and 3 pi over 4. What quadrant's that in? Don't overthink it. What quadrant is? What quadrant is 3 pi over 4 in? It's quadrant 2. This is quadrant 2. Now, in quadrant 2 is cosine positive or negative? Negative. So, we're going to use our cosine. So, we're going to have the opposite, or negative 1 plus the cosine of theta divided by 2. Now, here's where you guys really need to pay attention. Where's theta? Is theta in quadrant 2 or is theta in quadrant 3? Theta is in quadrant 3. Do you see what I mean by that? Yep.
How are we in quadrant 2 now?
Because you need to know your half angle. It's positive or negative based on where your half angle is. Not where your original angle is, always where your half angle is. The theta divided by 2 is my half angle. So here's the deal. If I were to take an angle that's in quadrant 3, say for example 200 degrees is in quadrant 3. Yes? Do you agree? If I take half of that angle, what's half of 200? 100. What quadrant's that in?
Why do we need the half?
But like,
Because that's what we're finding. We're finding the half angle of cosine.
how do we know what's the angle?
What do you mean? You don't need to know the angle.
I have one question.
There's no reason to, you needed the angle up here because they gave them to you. This one, I'm not giving you an angle. It's just giving you values.
Anyway, so like,
Hold on. I want to make sure you understand this. Yeah, go.
so like the half angle is always gonna be in quadrant 2.
Not always. It's never going to be in quadrant 4 usually, though. You need to take what they give you here, Tyler. Divide everything by 2, and that tells you what quadrant you're working on. That quadrant tells you whether or not this is positive or negative. I don't know if I believe you, but I'm going to go with it.
Why did you turn it to 4? Why did you turn it to 4 if you're dividing them all by 2?
Because this said 3 pi over 2.
Right. So why do you
Dividing by 2 is the same as multiplying by 1/2.
So how does that turn into a 4?
2 times 2 is 4.
Right.
Yeah.
But I thought you were dividing by 2.
Right. Dividing by 2. Stop laughing. God. Dividing by 2.
The door. Okay.
Dividing by 2 is the same as multiplying by 1/2. So I'm multiplying the 2, which is in the denominator, by 1 by 2. Because it's like this. Oops.
What's her name? Riley.
Yeah? Okay, now, here we go. Negative square root 1. Now, we need the cosine of theta. So you need to come over to your triangle. What is the cosine of theta? Cosine is defined as what over what? So that is negative 3/5. So minus 3/5 divided by 2. Yes? All I did is I used my triangle. Still on number 9. Use my triangle. Okay, sorry. What do I have to do from here? Common denominator. Negative square root 5 minus 3 over 5 divided by 2. Yeah? Okay. Negative square root. What's 5 minus 3? So that's 2 over 5 divided by 2. Shut up. So this is 2/5. Now, you're taking 2/5 and dividing by 2, correct? Right? So that means I need to multiply by the reciprocal, which is 1/2. Those 2's cancel. So now I have the square root of 1 divided by the square root of 5. Because I just split my fraction. What?
Where'd the 2 go?
What 2? I got 2's everywhere.
Divided by that 2.
When you're dividing by 2, it's the same as multiplying by 1/2. Or you're not just listening to me say that's Aria. Yeah. We're moving on. What do I have to do here? Rationalize it. Well, what's the square root of 1? It's just 1. So this becomes radical 5 over 5. I think we might have to hit the pause button. And